Now at 4, a soldier charged in a brutal cold case. A 16-year-old girl raped, beaten, and left for dead. It's how he was finally caught. And has the Astrodome finally been saved? The new plan approved, and how much it will cost. Plus, a warning about looking for love in all the wrong places.
At this point, your heart rules your head.
The romance scam that cost this woman how much? The news starts right now. And right now we are starting with breaking news.
The University of Houston is on alert. Police say a robbery suspect who is armed may be on campus. Now, police are warning people to stay away from the west side of campus. This includes the stadium, baseball field, and alumni athletic center.
And Brett Buffington is live on campus with what we know about this suspect at this time. Brett?
Jason, not very much other than the description that UH police sent out to students here, telling them to be on the lookout for a black male wearing a gray shirt with black sleeves and black pants. He was last seen here on the Elgin area. And let me show you behind you. You can see the police have this part of Elgin staked out. That's right outside the baseball field, where there's an event going on inside of the baseball stadium. Up and down this part of campus right now, police are actively looking for this person. Take a look at some of this video we shot earlier. We don't know a lot about the crime that started this, but we've learned from Pasadena police that there was a robbery in the city of Pasadena, and somehow those suspects were spotted either between here in Pasadena or here at the UH campus. Pasadena police still putting together the details of that robbery and told us they will give us more information as soon as they're ready to release that. Meantime, here on UH's campus, as you said, there's an alert this afternoon as they are actively looking for this suspect. We do believe at least one other person has been detained. There was a car involved in this. That car has been towed away as you look at some of this video from the search earlier this afternoon. Police tell us they haven't caught that second suspect. Again, still very busy looking here on the west part of campus this afternoon. We're live. Brett Buffington, KHOU 11 News.
Brett Buffington with the very latest. Thank you.
The violent rape and kidnapping case of a 16-year-old girl who was left for dead almost went cold until the recent arrest of an Army private.
Investigators say this is the man they've been looking for. He is currently stationed at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. The alleged crime occurring in the Cypress area back in 2013.
Jason Miles live downtown to explain how another crime led authorities to the suspect. Hey, Jason.
Hey there, Rekha. So many cold cases culminate this way. I'm told a sex assault investigation at Fort Bragg involving this suspect. A DNA sample was collected. It was then matched to a DNA sample collected here 5 years ago. And now a man investigators call a monster is behind bars. 24-year-old Levi Goss waived extradition yesterday in a North Carolina courtroom. The Army paratrooper trained to jump from planes will soon be brought back to Texas on one.
And a brave victim can finally move forward knowing that this man is no longer a threat to her or anybody else in the community.
Harris County Sheriff's investigators say DNA finally linked Goss to the brutal 2013 rape of a Cypress area teen. According to court records, the then 16-year-old was kidnapped while walking near Cypress Woods High School, dragged into some woods, then sexually assaulted and beaten with the blunt end of an axe. She later sought help at this nearby movie theater.
The complainant advised investigators that she believed her attacker only left her alone once he believed that she was dead.
This is a composite sketch from 2013. Compare it with Goss's current mugshot. Investigators say a gas station attendant fingered him as a man who left a bloody T-shirt in a restroom trash can the night of the attack.
And here we are today to put this monster behind bars where he belongs.
We've learned Goss, who has ties to the Houston area, enlisted in the Army in 2016. Years after the crime he's accused of committing here. The sheriff's office just held a briefing within the last hour and a half or so. We also learned that Goss had a family member who lived near that crime scene in Cypress, but he was never questioned at the time. Again, he is on his way back to face justice here in Houston. Meantime, I'm told that victim is still living with trauma from 5 years ago, including some brain damage. Back to you.
Such a terrible case. The details are really terrifying. Thank you, Jason. All right, take a look at your TV. Do you know this man here? Harris County investigators are looking for him after a road rage fight on the highway. The constable's office says 43-year-old Randu Salgado got upset when he couldn't pass in an emergency lane during a traffic jam. So he tailgated another driver who took this video and smashed his side view mirror. Authorities say Salgado and the other driver exited the highway and pulled into a parking lot where Salgado punched the victim and drove away.
It has been a debate for decades, and now we finally know what will happen to the Astrodome.
Oh yeah, Harris County Commissioners approved a $105 million plan to revamp the 8th wonder of the world. Adam Bennett is live, and Adam, that's a big price tag, but this building is actually costing us money no matter what.
That's right, Rekha. The county judge says it costs about $171,000 a year to maintain it, and they have to because it's a county building. So Judge Ed Emmett says since it's already paid for and we can't tear it down, why not turn it into a moneymaker? Today, Harris County Commissioners voted unanimously to go ahead and move forward with this project. This was about a year and a half after they already approved the first $10 million of the price tag for the engineering work. This project calls for raising the floor to ground level and then putting 1,400 parking spaces underneath. Renovating the rest of the stadium would open up about 500,000 square feet of space that they could rent out for festivals, conferences, and big events like the rodeo.
We're very restricted on what kind of revenue we can use to upgrade NRG Stadium and keep it up to modern standards. And if we don't have the dome to generate that revenue, then that whole complex is going to begin to fall apart a little bit. And so we owe it to our tenants to keep it first class.
Now, the total cost would be split evenly between parking fees, hotel occupancy taxes, and also your property tax dollars, about $35 million each way. But the judge says that's the same price as tearing the dome down. Judge Emmett says the work should take about 17 months once they choose a contractor and get the final approval from the Texas Historical Commission. Both the Texans and the rodeo today released statements after the vote expressing support, saying this will help keep Energy Park viable in the long term. Coming up at 5, though, we're going to hear from Judge Emmett, his response to the criticisms that this money, this $35 million in tax revenue, would be better spent on Harvey relief and flood control. Jason and Rekha will send it back to you.
Oh yeah, so many people have been split on this issue.
A lot of criticism.
Yeah, for years. Thank you, Adam. A live look outside over downtown Houston. We're getting a break from the rain right now, so the roads won't be slick during your drive home.
Brooks has more on the rain. So again, what will the ride home really look like, Brooks?
Well, we're seeing a lot of low clouds, and there could be some areas with a little bit of drizzle. So there may be a time where you have the wipers on, but yes, the heavy rain from earlier has now passed. What we're going to see is fog developing later tonight as warmer air moves into the region, and there could be a resurgence in some of this sprinkle and shower activity toward and after midnight. Right now, the last of the rains from earlier, eastern Liberty County moving up and out of our viewing area into the Beaumont region. It's 50 right now in Spring, still cool in the 40s, Magnolia and Willis, but it's warming up at Lake Jackson, checking in with 56, Galveston at 57. It's Fat Tuesday. We're going to have that forecast coming up, but for this evening, one difference in the forecast tonight versus the weather in the last couple of days is that temperatures will not only be steady, they'll actually be slowly rising as we move through the night with that warmer air rolling in, and that's all ahead of 80s. 80s, the first 80s we've seen since last year. We'll talk about that coming up as well, guys.
Oh man, okay.
Sounds weird to say last year.
Yeah, I feel like it's too soon. Thank you, Brooks.